Okay, guys, welcome to the day one training. And as I was saying, that we will be, taking care of the time. It's going to be 1 hour every day, same time, in the same link, and we will be covering those 5 days and all those topics that I have mentioned. Um, the few ground rules here. That is, whenever I'm explaining something, if you're not able to understand a particular topic after I complete my explanation, please stop me there, raise your hand, or stop me there, ask me the question. I want every one of you guys to learn something from this 5 days. So don't keep any doubt in your mind. Don't be shy to ask question. Everybody over here is new. They're trying to learn it, and I will be helping you to understand that topic better. Okay, so don't be shy about that. That's number one. Number two is that all these sessions are recorded, and I will be sharing these sessions in the YouTube. I will be uploading these sessions in the YouTube. I will take you to my YouTube and I will give you the channel so that you can go and you can watch these sessions in future. That's number two. Number three is that I will let you join our private Slack channel, which is built only for this particular bootcamp. This is basically to make sure that if you have any doubts after the class, you can ask me in the chat itself, or you can even chat with each other, okay? And then probably come up with some kind of a question that I would love to answer, okay? So I will make you guys come to that Slack channel as well, okay? So let's get started with the session. Here are the things that I'm going to discuss in today's class. So we'll give you a quick understanding about my company and what exactly I can bring onto you. As an experience, what can I give you? And then we will be understanding a few technical things, little bit of software testing understanding, what kind of different automation testing we have. We will know that. Introduction to Java straight away, because Java is the core programming language that we will be using in this bootcamp to create test automation frameworks and test cases. So you have to understand Java and then a few other things along with Java, like object-oriented programming, right? And then we will create a basic program in Java and understand what is Eclipse. Eclipse is a code editor, and we will understand that. Then we will understand what is a class, what is a main method in Java. We will add some basic programs with main methods. We'll understand what is variables and constants. We will understand what is data types, what different type of data types are there, some operators, arrays, loops, and at the end we will learn what is var args. So pretty much tight schedule, and we will try to cover it up in, say, 1 hour from now. And so let's get started, all right? A slide just to talk about myself and the company. The company is wisdomqa.com. We have started around 1.5 years back. Our main motive here is to provide you the best quality test automation training. I have been coaching as a freelance trainer over the last 6 years. I obviously have my 9-to-5 job. I'll take you to my LinkedIn profile, I'll show you. But along with my 9-to-5 job, I have built a passion to help people like you to come into the space of test automation, because I understand that manual testers, at some point of time, they feel a little bit of, less confident when they are asked to write a program. They're not really sure how to get started with that, where to go, what kind of logic to build, where to end. And they just don't get that confidence. And that's the reason why I am here. I have created this company since last 1.5 years. I have trained more than 77 people, and just for my company. And proudly I can say 59 students out of that have got into test automation. I'm talking about people who had never ever touched code in their life. Even last week, I'll show you one of the video testimonials of one of the students who got a job last week in the UK. So I'll go through those things later at a point of time. What I believe is that everybody can code. Coding is not rocket science. You just have to be patient, and you have to be proactive. You have to build, you have to get that curiosity. Like a software tester, I believe, comes with that curiosity within them, but you have to basically a little bit sharpen it. You cannot just leave the system and go that saying that, hey, this is not my cup of tea. You have to be proactive and patient. That is the key for programming, if you ask me. So a slide about myself. As I was saying, I'm in this industry for 15 years. If I take you to my LinkedIn profile, that's me. I work with Citibank as Vice President, Quality Engineering and DevOps. I'm in this industry for quite some time now. Along with my 9-to-5 job, I also am very passionate to work with new quality engineers who are struggling to get into test automation. And I basically help them, groom them, basically spoon feed them to take them from like 0 to the level where they can just not clear the interview, but they can get productive from day one. The site that I was talking about is wisdomqa.com. And I'm just going to bring this to you here in the chat right there. You can probably take a look into it later on. I'll also ping you my LinkedIn profile. You can come and say hi to me in the LinkedIn. All right. So let's get back to the slide deck. All right. Okay. First thing first, let us make you guys join into our Slack channel and into our YouTube channel. The main reason is that I want you to, I wanted to get those videos. So my YouTube channel is this. Let me take you to my YouTube. Just give me 1 second. And then just go there and just subscribe it so that you can watch those videos. Here is the channel. You can go and subscribe the channel. And I'm here also sending you one more link for you to join the Slack. All right. Let me send you this. Okay. When you join this particular Slack channel, try to find the channel name as Bootcamp June 2022, and then just get into this channel. All right. I want all 35 participants here to come in this particular channel so that you can ask me questions after the class. Let me know if you're not able to. I will probably add you manually, but I think it should be pretty straightforward. Just log in with your Google ID, Gmail account, and then just come to this particular channel called Bootcamp June 2022. All right. Perfect. Let's move on. Justin, you have anything to say?
No, nothing. Thank you.
Perfect. That's okay. Perfect. Good stuff. Let's move on to the next thing. Okay, let's start with the training. Okay. All right. So, few software testing types. We probably all understand these: system testing, integration testing, regression testing, user acceptance testing, smoke sanity. Right. System testing is basically where you are testing individual systems separately. Integration, where you are integrating multiple systems that you're checking an end-to-end flow. Regression testing is where you are trying to understand that your system is not breaking because of a new change came in. User acceptance testing is basically an end-to-end test in terms of the client. And smoke and sanity, basically to check the major functionalities and see if things are working fine or not. Why am I talking about this particular testing? Because you have to understand that from automation perspective, where exactly in which particular phase this automation really shines. Okay. So these are the two things that ideally test automation shines. Ideally, you can execute your test cases in Sanity or Smoke as well. But in these two particular sections, your test automation shines. Number one is regression testing. It is very, very time consuming if you're trying to do this manually. The reason for that is very simple. We are all working in an agile system, which means that we want to deliver the product as soon as possible. And as a quality engineer, your main responsibility is to provide feedback to the developer as soon as possible. Because unless you give a feedback, unless you test the application and you provide a defect, they will not be sure if there is a defect or not. So think about it when you are running a 2-week sprint. In a 2-week sprint, the developer has taken, for example, I don't know, maybe 5 days or 6 days to develop like 2 or 3 features. You are just left out with 3 or 4 days to test those new features. At the same time, you also have to test if those new features didn't break anything else in the application, which is called as regression testing. You have to test the application in different browsers with different data sets. In earlier times, when we had like for 5 developers, we used to have like 3 QAs. Okay, those times things were a little different. Okay, we were not really running behind a 2-week sprint. Things are changed now. We are in a very short time. We have to deliver a lot of things. And with this approach of regression testing done manually, it is not possible for you to really ship the product fast. That is exactly where automation comes in. The idea is simple. Whatever the new features got developed, so new features, whichever has developed between the sprint, those 6 or 7 days the developer has spent, those new features, as a manual tester, you will test them manually. All right, you will test them manually to check if there is any defect or not, only on those features. And then whatever the regression testing required for other modules, you will simply execute the automated test, right? You will simply execute the automated test. You're not going to write it, you're executing it, those automated tests. Now you must be thinking, all right, there's a 2-week sprint. 2-week sprint meaning 10 days. One sprint is 10 days, right? So you must be thinking that in those 10 days, the developer has taken 6 days. 6 days, all right? As a QA, are you going to just sit around and wait for that developer to complete all those features, or do you want to do any job? Obviously, you have to do the job. What is that job? So that job is to implement the test cases for the previous sprint. So automate test cases for previous sprint. If you do that, so you will be not running or not creating the automation test case for the current sprint, but for the previous sprint. And if you do that, you will keep on updating your QA automation test case backlog, and eventually you will be able to write, or you will be able to execute all the required test cases that is required for that particular sprint. And then manually you test the new features. Joseph, do you have a question?
No.
Tell me, what is the question?
No, I don't.
You don't have any question? That's fine. All right. Good stuff. So please stop me, guys. If you have any questions, please raise a hand. Stop me. I'll love to answer your doubts. Let me quickly clear this drawing. Okay. So I think that makes sense. Integration testing is also very, very crucial. It is required because you want to understand how the systems in the back end is performing. It is very, very crucial, guys. We will be in the 5th day. I will talk about it in little bit details, and you will understand that without the backend web services, your system is absolutely not there. I mean, there is no functional aspect of it. You need to have the APIs working correctly. Only then you can achieve something out of it, period. Okay, I'll talk about that on the 5th day. And then performance testing, yeah, it is also an automated system, but obviously I'm not teaching performance testing as a part of my course curriculum. So let's move on to the next part, all right? Introduction to Java, good. I have asked every one of you when you have registered for this bootcamp to install Java and Eclipse in your system. Could you please give me a thumbs up saying how many of you guys have done it or who didn't do it? Because it's really important. Okay, I see 3, 4. Okay, good, good. Okay, good. Okay, some of them are thumbs down. Guys, if you are not done with the Java installation, I encourage you to do it as soon as this.
The chat is disabled.
Yeah, the chat is disabled. You can just say thumbs up or raise your hand. Or you can unmute and ask a question. Do you have anything to ask, Elvis?
No, no.
Okay,
okay.
Perfect. That's perfect. That's perfect. Who didn't do it, they will probably have to do it by end of the day. If you have any questions, I can sit with you for a while and then help you get it done. But it's really important because the idea is that whatever I do in my system, you please replicate that. Okay.
Maybe just a quick question, Savik, if that's okay.
No problem.
Just downloaded Eclipse and downloaded Java, and do I need to download Jre separately, or is that?
No. Just download JDK. I have mentioned that if you in the Calendly link that I have sent you or you have registered, probably an automated mail has gone to you where there is a video I wanted you to watch and install it. So
perfect.
It is very simple to just install it and then add that information into your environment variables. Okay, so that your system can recognize Java globally. All right.
Sure. Thanks.
Perfect. So let's get started. Java. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. So we're downloading Java. What again, please?
It is Java and Eclipse. Right now, as you didn't download, again, I would say just focus in the training. Okay. Because if you start downloading it, it will take you distracted, right? So just stay in the training. After the class, you can do it. Okay.
Right then. Thanks.
Perfect. So Java is a concurrent class-based object-oriented programming language. It's a programming language which follows object-oriented principles. We will try to understand what are those. Okay. There are main 3 components of Java. One is Java Virtual Machine, Java Runtime Environment, Java Development Kit. These 3 are the main components of Java programming language. When you install Java in your system, you have them. Okay. Ideally, I ask you to install JDK, not JRE, because JDK comes along with JRE and JVM, obviously. Okay. So that's why I asked you to come with that. Okay. So what is JVM? Java Virtual Machine. What exactly is this? All right. So think about it. Whatever operating system you're working on, it doesn't matter whether it's a Mac, whether it's a Windows, whether it's a Linux, doesn't matter. JVM is a system that sits on top of your operating system when you install Java on that operating system. Okay. Java Virtual Machine. Java Virtual Machine is there basically to perform certain operation. Okay. This particular system is here to compile or to convert a text file which is written in simple English to a machine readable format. As simple as that. So when you write, so obviously you understand that in electronics, your laptop, your system, what exactly is it? It's an electronics component, right? In the electronics component, any electronics component, it just understands two things, guys. 1 and 0. 1 means switch on and 0 means switch off. Now, with a combination of 1 and 0, right, you can create an instruction for the system. This is called a bytecode, something that is understandable by your laptop, your system, okay? Source file is something that we write in simple English. In simple English, we use certain syntax. The syntax are given to us by the programming language called Java, right? And all we do is we compile our English written code into a bytecode. We do this with a compiler. Okay? Compiler is obviously provided by the respective language. If you are working with JavaScript, which is a totally different language than Java, it has its own compiler. Python has its own compiler. Every programming language has its own compiler. The end goal is to convert something which is in syntax to a machine readable format. That's it. Okay? Now, once we are compiling this entire text file to a bytecode, the JVM is the guy which is responsible to perform this execution. When you compile this code, it has to be executed. Which environment is going to execute? You will think that probably in the operating system it is getting executed. No, it is not. It is getting executed in this Java virtual machine. This machine is a layer sitting on top of an operating system. Every different operating system will have its own virtual machine, which is why if you go to the Java website to download it, for example, I'll take you there. You just go and say JDK download, right? And I don't know, just go here, right? Okay, do you see that? Linux, macOS, Windows. There are different versions of it. Why is there? Why is that case? It is the case because every system or every operating system will require its own Java virtual machine, so that whatever code or whatever this compiler is compiling it to, this bytecode can be executed by the respective virtual machine. And the best beauty of this strategy is that Java is a system or an operating system independent language. What do I mean by that? I mean that if you are implementing a code in Windows, you can give this code to your client who is using Linux, and the code will still work. Why? Because every operating system will have its own Java virtual machine. And the job of that machine is to simply execute a bytecode. Java compiler will compile it to make the source code file to a bytecode, and then JVM will execute it, right? Which is why every Java, which is why Java programming language is system independent. Operating system independent. Okay. Stop me if you have a question, I will answer it. All right. Let's move on to the next part. Okay. What is JRE? We have to understand this. JRE is.
I have a question.
Go on, Elvis.
Yeah. If I can understand, it means the the compiler is compiling maybe the normal language that we are writing into the binary codes.
That is correct.
Okay, and the Java virtual machine is executing the job, something like that.
Yes, it's an environment where the program is getting executed.
Okay.
It's an environment where the program is getting executed. Your program is not getting executed into the operating system, rather on top of that, which is JVM.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So what is JRE? JRE is a runtime environment. As I was saying, you need to execute your program somewhere, right? Where exactly that environment is. That environment is this JRE. The JRE consists this concept called as JVM and certain library that will make you execute that program. So JRE is basically the environment which is built with JVM and the libraries, some extra set of tools. Library is nothing but some extra set of tools which will let you execute the program. So the program is actually running inside a JRE where JVM and the tools are residing together. Okay, that's JRE. Let's move on to the next part, which is JDK. Now, JDK is something that comes along with JRE itself. Within JRE, we have seen that JVM and the libraries are present, but in JDK, we get some extra things like dev tools. Using dev tools, we can perform certain dev operation. For example, Java C. Java C is a compilation, is a compiler, which will compile a code for you. Let me actually give you guys a practical demonstration of this so that it can really make sense to you, okay? What I will do is I'll not open up my Eclipse editor or whatsoever, nothing, okay? I will simply open up one of my folder and I will simply write a basic program in a simple notepad, all right? Let's say new text file, and let's give this name as free bootcamp Java demo. Okay, that's the name of this file I have given. I'll copy this name and then in this name I'll open this file. Okay, this file is right now totally empty, no problem at all. I'm going to write some syntax here. Okay, so syntax is public class, whatever the name of the file is, I'll give the same name over here. The class name is FBC Java demo, and I'm going to close this class. Whatever I'm writing here is probably not making sense to you because it's a Java syntax. I have not spoken about that yet, but we will eventually go through it. And here we will have a statement to run, so a method to run. So we will say public static void main, and then here we will say string array args, and then we will close this and we will just say that let's print out something. Okay, so we'll print out something like this: system dot out dot print ln, and we will give a simple text here to print, and that is welcome to Bootcamp June Bootcamp. Right. So something like that, and I close this and I close this line as well. What am I doing here? I'm creating a simple class. What is a class? We'll talk about that probably tomorrow. But this is a simple class where we are trying to run or trying to create a syntax. We're creating a syntax with which I can print something in my console, okay? In my execution console, all right? So I'll save this file. This file is a simple text file. How do I know that? Well, very simple. I'll go to this particular location. I'll open up my command prompt here, okay? Open in terminal, that's my simple command prompt. Okay, this is a PowerShell. I wanted to open up the command prompt. Hold on. Even PowerShell will work, but you guys probably will not have PowerShell. So let's open up the command prompt. Okay, that's my location. I'll go to this location, CD, and then this is the location. Okay, and then I'll just do a dir. And if I do a dir, you will see that there is this new file created, right? Just a second. Okay, there is this new file created, which is fbc demo txt. Do you see that? It's a txt file. It's a text file. It is not a Java file. It's a text file. Okay, I'm going to first rename this, okay, to a Java file. I'll rename this to a Java file. How do I do that? It's very simple. I'll go and open this file, okay, and then I'll do file, save as, and then the same thing here. Just make it all files, and then just say .java. Simple. Because .java is the file extension that can be compiled. .text cannot be compiled. .java can be compiled. So I go and save it. I'm done with that. Now I'll close this. I'll go back to my folder here, and then I must say fbc java demo.java, right? I have this here. I want this to be compiled to a machine readable format. How can I compile it? I have installed JDK in my system. JDK comes along with Java C, which is the compiler. All right. So all I will do is I will invoke my compiler with a simple command Java C, and I'll name the file that I want to compile. So fbc demo, sorry, what's the name? fbc Java demo, right? Java demo. Okay, I'm going to compile this. When I compiled it, it is giving me some error. Okay, I think I have misspelled something over here. You can see this compiler is actually giving me an error. You see that? And it is there because there's a typo. String P, I have given a P here, which is a typo. So let me fix that. I'll go back to my code here. I'll open up the Java file here. And it is string P. It should not be string P. So I just removed it, saved it again, and rerun the same program one more time. Okay, so it just got compiled because I don't see any error or any output. It means it's compiled. How can I know it is compiled? Let's do a dir one more time. Now, when you do a dir, you see that this file over here, which is my .java file, that file is already there, that's fine. But then it is also got compiled to a .class file. It just happened right now, 7:39 p.m. Right now it happened, correct? It got compiled to .class file. This .class file is the compiled version. You want to see how it looks like? Let's see that. So, where is the, okay, this is a class file. Look. Do you see that? Can you read it? You can't. Why? It's a gibberish. Only machine can understand this. It's a compilation done, right? So, well, compilation is done. Now, the point that I'm trying to make here is that this compiled file is now your operating system independent file. You can give this file to your friend who is running your, who can run the same program in a Mac machine or a Linux machine, and it will still be working because the JRE of a Mac system is basically looking for this .class file. It doesn't really care how this .class file was built. It just cared that there's a .class file, and if it is compiled properly, then it will execute it. As simple as that. So how do I execute this program? Very simple. You say Java and we will be targeting the compiled version. So FBC, Java demo dot. You don't have to say dot class. Just say Java demo and hit enter. And when you do that, you see I'm getting this printout, which means my program just executed by the Java, which is the executor over here. There are two things that you have understood. I have a Java C who compiled it, and Java is another system who executed it. Okay? Everybody understands it? Just give me a shout, please. If no, just give me a thumbs up. Okay. All right.
May I ask a question?
Yeah, please go on. Go ahead.
Just so, so when you execute that, do you then just, sorry, my screen is a bit small. Do you see the error, if there is one? Pardon me.
If there is an error, then you will not be able to even compile the code, like it happened with me. There was an error. It just said straight in my face that, hey, you have a problem, fix it. So I fixed it, and now when I run it, then I got this error. Now there are two different kind of error. Okay, one is, okay, good that you have asked this question. Let me explain this. One is a compile time error, which we exactly saw now. Compile time error, right? Now this compile time error is something that Java C was able to catch it. Java C said, hey, you have a typo, fix it, right? But, and then when I used my Java as a program, it ran it. It printed out that particular code here, right? This particular line here. But there is also one more type of error that is called runtime error. And Java C will never be able to catch that. I want to prove this to you. It's very good that you asked the question. I really like this kind of question. Thanks. So what I'll do is I will go to this particular program. Okay. Now you see in the Java file, okay, I'll open this Java file, and then here I'm going to write something. I'm going to say, welcome to Java Bootcamp, and I'll just copy this line, and I will do something. I will say, in the next line, I will say, I'm dividing 1 by 0. I'm trying to divide 1 by 0. Okay, I'll save this. And now I'll go and do a compilation. All right, so I'll do a compilation Java C FBC Java demo, because I made a change in the file, so I must be recompiling it. Otherwise, it will not work. It will not have the updated information. So I did a recompilation. I'll do the recompilation now. Now see, it got compiled, and it didn't really bother me at all. But it should have bothered me, because what I wrote there is a wrong program. How do I know that? I know that because I say Java FBC Java demo, and if I run it, do you see that? Exception straight in my face saying, hey, you are doing this wrong. You cannot divide a number with 0. So this is called a runtime error.
Yeah.
There are two different types of error that you get, runtime and compile time. Yeah?
Yes, perfect.
Very good question. Very good question. Thank you. Please, guys, come up with this kind of questions. I know probably the 1 hour can go to 1.5 hours, doesn't matter, but it'll be a solid class, you know? Thanks. Good stuff. So okay. So what I was saying is this. How is Java platform independent? I just told you that you can build your system in a different operating system and then give that code to another client who is just using Jre. This person is not a developer. It doesn't need JDK. Just a runtime environment is good enough for this person to run the code. Okay, so that's that. Let's move on to the next part. Okay, let's create the above in action. So we just did this. We just did this exercise, creating a text file, and then we ran it with the compiled it with the Java C, and then we executed the program. You saw the output. So we are done with this slide ideally. Okay, so now the entire thing that I showed you in terms of the text file, Let me show this to you in terms of the Eclipse, because Eclipse is the code editor which we will be using. You have to understand something, guys, that we are going to we will not be dealing with 1 or 2 Java files. We will be dealing with hundreds of Java files. It is absolutely not possible for us to maintain these Java files in simple, what do you call this, as an individual text file. It is not possible, right? We need to use some kind of editor where our management or code management becomes easy. Okay, so we will understand the same thing in terms of Eclipse now. So let's go and open the Eclipse. When you open the Eclipse for the first time, you will see a window like this when it comes. Basically, it will show you to choose a workspace like this, saying choose a workspace. Workspace is nothing but a folder in which you can keep multiple projects. That's it. There's nothing more than that. So I'm just going to create a folder here saying FBC June 2022 launch. Okay. When you launch this, you will see editor. There are different panels in that window. We will take down some of them because all of them are not really required. And then we will start writing a code. Okay. Okay. Good stuff. So, okay, let me just check something. Okay, I'm just seeing only 2 people joined here, guys. I need more people here, please. It's for your own good. Please join this channel. I've sent it to you. Join the channel in the meanwhile. If not, then I can add you manually, but don't miss out on this. All right, so when you open this file, this application, you will see there are so many panels here, so many sections here. We don't really need to bother about them. We can simply close them like this, outline, just close them, problems, Java doc, declaration. We have closed all of them, all right? And now what I'll do is we're going to create a project. When I say it's a project, it means, again, a folder in which we are going to keep our program in an organized fashion. So how do I create a project? It's simple. I go and say file, new Java project, right? I open this. And let's give a project name here, okay? The name would be day
hello,
1.
hello, Sovi.
Yeah, hi. Hi,
Yeah.
Joseph, tell me.
Yeah, how to join the Slack channel? The Slack channel?
I have sent it in the chat. Are you able to see it?
Chat. No, I'm not able to see. I joined late, I think that's why. Maybe.
Okay. I'm sending the chat again. Just see if you can see the chat message there or not. 1 minute, hold on.
Because
Just 1 minute, just 1 minute.
chat.
Okay, I'm sending it again. Do you see it now?
Yeah, now I can see.
Okay. So just join with that. All right. When you join the channel, try to find out when you join the channel, try to find out a sub channel inside it called as free bootcamp. Sorry, Bootcamp June 2022. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
And over here, okay, I think people are joining.
We need to click the link and we can join that. This
no, you
channel.
have to create your account there. So just create your account with your Gmail account.
No, already have Slack, I think. Just I'll just click the link and see.
Yeah, and then you will see this channel called Bootcamp June 2022.
Yeah.
Just come here. Okay, thank you. All right, so I'm just creating this project here called day 1. All right, and this is the next finish. All right. So when you get this window here called as create module info.java, do not create this module. We are not creating any module here. We're going to create a simple Java class here. So don't say create. You have to click on don't create. Keep that in mind, okay? I did that. I created this project called day one, all right? If you open this, there are a few things that you can see. Number one that you can see here is that there is a folder called SRC. SRC is short for source, okay? It's a normal folder. And then it is also having a JRE system library, okay? A library which is attached to this project. Why this library is required?
Savik, can you tell me again how to do like I know how to create a for project in Eclipse, but how you have created this project, I don't know exactly. I didn't follow
No
exactly.
problem. So, okay, so go to File, New,
Yeah.
Java project.
Yeah, okay.
Okay? And then you give the name over here, okay?
Yeah, that's okay. After that.
And then you just finish, and then you will get another window called as create module. So just say don't create.
Yeah. Actually, I am using the JRE 8 or 1.8, I think. I'm not sure about that.
You should be updating to Java 11, but for now, whatever we are teaching, 1.8 is okay.
Yeah, 1.8 is okay, I think, right?
Yeah,
Or
for now it is okay. In future, you please update to Java 11. Okay.
Java, I think wait, I would say.
Okay, let me continue the class. You just follow me, and whatever I'm doing, try to do it. Your environment problems will be taken care later on. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So what I'm saying here is that we have a project here, and then something got added automatically to it, JRE system library and SRC, okay? Now, what is the system library ideally, okay? If you open this file, if you open this section, you will see something, and which is probably looking very confusing to you. It is saying, this looks like, the icon looks like a jar file, okay? Jar, okay? And the extension is called .jar. So what I'm trying to say here is that in the system library or any library in terms of Java, when I say library means a collection of multiple jar files, collection of multiple jar files. What is jar, by the way? Jar means nothing but Java archive. And what do I mean by that? What do I mean by that is, if you expand a jar file, you will know it. What do you see here? You see a box-like structure, which is nothing but a package. A package. Okay? Package looks like a box, right? That's how it is defined here in Eclipse. A package here is a box. Within this package, what do I have? I have multiple .class files. So package has collection of .class files. What do I mean by that? You know what is the .class file is, right? Java file gets compiled to a .class file. So basically means that packages are having multiple compiled version of .class files. As simple as that, right? So if you open one of these packages, you will see it. So basically, a team of like us, right? Multiple people together, they worked together and they created thousands and thousands of Java files. They compiled them to make them .class files, package them inside a package, and then multiple packages together becomes one jar file, and multiple jar file becomes one library. I hope that makes sense now. So library is nothing but multiple compiled class files. Each and every class file is there to perform various type of operations. Okay, we will talk more about this in future, but for now, I think this is okay to understand. All right, so that's the library. So this library got attached to this project. Why? Because after I implement some piece of code, I would like to run the code, right? So I need a JRE anyways, Java Runtime Environment anyways. So it got automatically attached. Who attached it? Eclipse did that for me. All right. Okay. So let me create a package here.
So excuse me, actually I am not able to see. You told like usually I didn't see any time like see about like create a source folder something you showed some option, right? Till now I didn't see it in my Eclipse till now.
I
Don't know.
didn't say create source folder.
Something create something it is there when you're trying to create the project and
Okay, the module info, right?
yeah, I never saw till now.
That's fine. That's fine. In the new version of Eclipse, you will see that. Do you have a new version or an old version?
Mine is a little old, not the.
I think that's the
latest.
reason. That's the reason you're not seeing it. If you're
Okay,
not
okay.
seeing it, don't worry.
Okay, for sure.
Okay. So I'm creating a new package here now. Just say new and then package. Simple as that. And then when you do a package, give a name of the package in the lowercase. So I'm just saying test Java. Simple. And I'll just say finish. Okay. And once I'm here, I'm going to create a simple class here. Okay. So new class. All right. Let's give the class name as so day one test, like so. And in this day one test, I'm going to choose this checkbox, public static void main. All right. And then I do a finish. Why did I choose that text box? Because you can see that it has created a syntax for me. Eclipse has created the same syntax that I built some time back manually. All right. Let me increase the font size over here. You can do that very easily by going to Windows, Preferences, just type in here font and colors and font, and then go to Basics and go to say text editor, text font. Okay. Click on Edit, and I will just make this as 14 or 16. Okay, apply and close. That will increase your font. I hope you can see it better now. So now I'm going to do something here. I'm going to say sysout. You see, Eclipse also comes with some shortcuts. So SYSO, and you can hit Control and space together in your keyboard, and this line will be completed for you. Okay, it's called IntelliSense. It is giving you options. It is giving you solutions. SYSO. You see, do you see that? Control space, you got this option. All right. Similarly, there are so many other key shortcuts that you will be learning with me. Anyway, so
Souvik, I have one question.
Go on.
So in Windows you do Control plus space, and how about
command space, Mac.
Command space? But it's not happening. It's opening the Spotlight search with command and space.
Did you click on this
Yes.
class file and you did that?
Yes.
In that case, your keyboard layout is not correct, I suppose. We will see about that. It is not really that important. We will see it later on. So you see, I have printed this. I just wrote this line here, and then I'm going to just say in the quotes, I'm going to say welcome. Okay. Now whatever I wrote here. Okay. Now you just saw me writing this code. Okay. Now I will right click on this particular program or file, and I'll say run as Java application. When I do that, you will see whatever I wanted to print out, I was able to print in my console. The console is Eclipse console, and I was able to print it. The question to you is how I was able to execute this program without even compiling it. I didn't compile it, but still I was able to execute it. How is that possible? It is possible because Eclipse is a smart guy. It is doing that for me. How is it doing it? As soon as I save a line, it compiles it. And I can prove that to you. If you go to this project folder, show in System Explorer, okay? If you do that, you open this particular folder here, right? And you just go inside this folder. You will see that there are so many different folders and files which you are not actually seeing here, right? These files are pretty much required by Eclipse internally. So don't worry about that. But then you have SRC folder. If you open that SRC folder, you have a test Java folder, which is a package ideally. And then inside that you have day one test, which is a Java file. You see, Java file here. But if you go back to the project again, you also have another folder called bin. Bin stands for binary, right? And if you open the binary folder, that's exactly where you will see something. You will see a replica of whatever you saw in the SRC folder. You see test Java package. If you open this, you see day one test, but this is not a Java file, it's a class file. You see that? So basically, who is doing this for me? I'm not hitting Java C and compiling it. No. Eclipse is doing it for me. Eclipse is compiling it for me and keeping that compiled version over here in the bin folder. When I'm running it, when I'm running this particular file, I say run as, right click on this file, run as Java application. It understands that, okay, there is a bin folder and there's a package inside it, and then there's a file inside it, which I have to execute. And it's a compiled version. So I go and I run it, and it runs it for me. I hope that makes sense to everybody. Give me a shout. Yes, no.
I didn't get you exactly. Like we have to first okay, it is compiling each and every line once we save it. But just can you show me the once again? Like I didn't follow exactly. I will also try to see it exactly.
So Joseph, when I'm in the screen, try to focus in the screen. If you are getting distracted, then you will not be able to understand what I'm showing. Okay.
Yeah, because I'm typing like that time it will. So I just got stuck.
Okay. So show in Project Explorer, System Explorer. You will see that the same project, whatever I created here, it is a folder, and inside that you have a binary folder and SRC folder. So binary folder, if you go inside that, there's a package called test Java. Inside that, you see there's a class file automatically got created. I didn't create that; it got automatically created.
Yeah.
You have a SRC folder here,
yeah,
which has the Java file.
Yeah. Good.
Okay. All right. So that is that. Okay. All right.
Okay. Sure.
So now that you understand this, and I hope it is making sense to everyone, give me a shout if you're not understanding it, guys. Are you understanding?
Maybe just one question. So
Yeah.
like
Go on.
you created this class in the source folder, and what's the package part again? Package test Java. Is that
Package is just a folder inside which you're keeping a class. You can create multiple classes under a package.
Oh, okay.
So ideally, package will be something that you want to use it for a grouping. Why do you use folder? You want to use folder because you want to group some things in the folder, right? For example, you want to store your holiday vacation photos under a particular directory, which is why you will create a directory and you will name the directory, right?
Okay, yeah. So it's just for sort of making it tidy. Like you could in theory run
it.
Yeah,
that is right. You can definitely create a file right here, class, and just say test Java. And if you do that, I suppose Okay, it is directly it is creating under this one because there is no packages here, so it is directly creating under this. But if there is no packages here, then you can actually create this file under src also. You can do that. Anyway, let me delete this file. It's just there to group things together, make it tidy, nothing more than that. Any questions, Clarkin?
Yeah, no, it's probably a bit too soon, but like one of the things that I've had difficulties with is I've been asked about things like because I have been manual testing, is about like, so like if Java is like the head of the structure, then things like Jenkins and Cucumber, I might just kind of maybe, you know.
You are way apart from where we are right now.
Okay.
Okay, so Java is just the programming language.
Yeah.
Cucumber is a framework which comes way later. Okay, which we will not be discussing here. We will be talking about a framework in the free bootcamp. But if you want to really learn about it, then you can talk to me later on. But then those things are frameworks, and everything about automation is built on some kind of programming language. So we are using Java over here, which is the foundation. And when you are strong with your foundation, then I think it is you will be ready to really understand a framework. Okay, we are getting there. We'll slowly get there. Okay.
Brilliant. Thank you.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay, I have hands raised. Guispe, I have a hand raised. Milara, yeah.
Yeah. If you don't create package, does the program pick up the package automatically?
I think it creates an automatic package. Let me actually delete this and I'll show it to you. If you create a class file directly and just say test Java, and I'll just say finish. You see, it creates a default package. You see that? It doesn't give a name to it. It creates a default package.
Thank you.
Okay, good. So that is that. All right. So let's move on to the next part of it. We are already 10 minutes over. Probably I'll not be able to complete everything that I was planning to complete. That's okay. We'll do it tomorrow. Let's go and understand the next thing over here. Let's create a simple program to add numbers. Okay, we can do that. Okay, let's create a simple program to add numbers. All right. What I'll do is I will simply add a main method here, because main method is the method from where you can start your program. Okay, so I'm just going to create a program to add two numbers. Simple as that. Yeah, Guispe, you have a question. I see you are unmuted. Do you have a question? No?
Sorry, I would like to know if you ask the system to print welcome and you decide to modify, you are going to, for example, to ask to print back home, for example. What will happen? Will system save a new class file or overwrite the previous one?
No,
Thank you.
No. So here is this, right? So I'm saying welcome, right? And if I run this, it is as simple as it sounds. If you run this, you get the value as welcome. When it is running, you have no control on it to change the value from welcome to welcome back. When it is running, when the execution is completed, how do you know the execution is completed? You will know it because you can see that there is a terminated section here which says that it is completed. So when it is completed, that is where you know that it has executed it. And now you can go and you can say, welcome back. And then you run it. So when you run it, it will just simply print out the new version of it. It is not overwriting it or nothing like that. It's just simply running the same program again with a new message. That's pretty much about it. Is that clear?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, good stuff. All right, so what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to create a simple method to add two numbers, all right? So before I add two numbers, I have to store two numbers inside some kind of a variable, all right? So how do I create a variable in Java? It's very simple. I'll say int stands for integer, int num_a equals to 10, and int num_b equals to 20. As simple as that. And I want to add these two numbers. How do I do that? I'd say sysout. Go on, Akan.
I'm sorry, I'm interrupting there. So if it was going to be, because I mean, the integers, I believe, are for numbers. If I wanted to store words in a variable, what would that be? Would that be string?
That's string. That is correct.
Perfect. Just wanted to confirm that.
No problem.
Yeah.
So you have string println, and you can just, I want to add two numbers, right? I can add two numbers in various ways. Number one, I can say 10 plus 20, just like that. Okay. And when I do it, I run it. And when I run it, I get the result as 30, no problem at all. However, in this particular situation, I am directly adding 10 plus 20. I'm not really taking any help of these variables. I'm not using these variables in my program at all. So how can I add these two numbers if I want to use these variables? Okay, so I will just say num_a plus num_b, as simple as that. And if I do that, obviously I will be able to print out, the result. By using a num_a plus num_b, what is my benefit? The benefit is this, that this is the line, this line over here, line number 9, is the line where we are actually performing the addition. We're actually adding these two numbers. Okay, so this is the line where the operation is performing. So it is not a good practice to really tamper the line without any requirement. Rather, you tamper the variables which are actually storing the information. What if you don't want to run? What if you don't want to get the value as 30? What if you want to get the value as 50? So you would say 30 plus 50. You see, I didn't really touch anything in line number 9. I just touched line number 6 to update my information. This is a variable, means it can vary the values, right? So that's where I go and I just go and I run it. I say run as Java application and I get 50 here. Simple as that, right? That's a simple addition problem I wanted to cover. Okay.
Vic, sorry about the interruption again. Yeah, I can see that you had the addition there. That's meant to be a comment? Are you saying anytime you need to issue a comment on Java, you use the / twice?
That is correct. It's just a comment.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, this is completely ignored by the code.
Yeah,
yeah. So that is that. Now let's move on to the next part. All right. Now we are going to learn about something. We have 15 more minutes, guys, because we started a little late. That's fine. 15 more minutes. In 15 more minutes, I'll try to cover as much as I can. And then we'll meet tomorrow and then cover some of the left out items of day 1. And then we'll go to day 2. All right. So understanding a main method. What is a main method? Main method, as I said earlier, it is the kick-off point for your program or for your project. So let me first clear that discussion, okay? What do I mean by kick-off point? You see, test Java is a class. I can right-click on this class and I can say run as Java application. Do you see this option, Java application? And I can run this program and I get the output. It is a kickoff point. Let me create one more class here, all right? And I'll name the class as test Java 2. And I'll not create a main method. I'll just say finish. And that's my simple Java class where there is no main method. No main method, okay? I go and I right click on this and I say run as, and I don't see that option, run as Java application. So which means I cannot really trigger my program from this particular file. I cannot trigger my execution from this particular file unless I have a main method. Just not a main method, but a main method that is designed in a particular structure. The structure has to have this particular syntax. Syntax is public, static, void, main. Everything over here that you see here, everything over here is having a significance. Everything. We will discuss them in a later stage. For now, you need to just memorize it or just click on that checkbox when you're creating a class file. Or you can go to this file here and you can just say MAIN and just say control space, and then you get this session, click on it, and you get this file, get this method, okay? But anyways, you need to have this particular structure in place, exactly this structure in place. I can prove that to you. You see, I'm going to copy the exact same structure and paste it over here, and I will just remove this section, only this particular section within the bracket. You see, everything is same other than that. Main method, void, static, public, all right? I have sysout as well, and I'll give this as, this is a duplicate main, correct? Now, look at the magic. When I run this, it hits 50, which means what? Which means that Java chose this guy for execution, not this guy, even though they are having the same name. Why is that? Because JVM, or basically JRE, the Java Runtime Environment, is looking for a method. Method means this particular structure here is called a method, which is exactly having this design, public, static, void, main, and it is a parameter called string of arguments. Okay? Without this line here, Java will not be able to trigger this method, or it will not be able to kick off the project. That's the main method, okay? So we will talk about these things in a later video, all right? Let me move on to the next part. That's exactly what I'm talking about here. Variables and constants, I think I have just finished it. Variables, I told you. Okay, let me just quickly open this section. So we created a variable called as int number, and we assigned a value to it, okay? So int is the data type. You have to say it explicitly in Java that what is the data type you're trying to work with, okay? That is int. Int is nothing but it can store negative and positive numbers. The name of the variable is number, and the value that I'm assigning is 10, okay? That's a variable. Why it is a variable? It's a variable because the value can vary, as simple as that. I can have 10 when the execution is finished. I can update this value to 20, or even at the runtime, I can update the value to 30. It doesn't matter. I can vary it. I can variable. I can change the value at the runtime or when it is offline. Okay, that's the variable. And then we have constants. What is constants? Constants mean you have a number or you have a value that you want to use it in your project which you don't want to be changed ever. Okay? Nobody will be able to update that value at runtime. Okay? Nobody. How can you do that? You can use a final keyword, add a final keyword at the beginning of it, and that's a constant now. If you try to work with a constant, and if you try to change the value of it, you can't even compile your program. Look, I'm going to just make this guy as final. All right, look, final int num20, correct? Now you see, I want to just say num_b equals 45. As soon as I do it, you see Eclipse itself has compiled it, and it is giving me a compilation error. If you hover your mouse on top of this red line, it clearly tells you the reason. It says the final local variable num_b cannot be assigned. Obviously, it cannot be assigned because it's a constant. You cannot change the value again. Whatever the value you have set is set. It's done. You cannot reassign it. Correct? That's the situation with constants. Let's move on to the next part. Okay. Now, this one is a little bit time consuming, and we have 7 minutes. Data types. I said this to you very clearly, that there are different kind of data types in Java. They are primarily, separated out as primitive and non-primitive. Okay. As a part of primitive, you have integer, decimal, character, and Boolean. And you can see this very clearly that just within integer, there are 4 sub data types. Okay. So byte, short, int, long. They're all there to store a positive or a negative number. The question that you can ask me is, okay, if I want to store integer, why do I have 4 different data types? And the answer to that is, when Java was built earlier, like 30, 40 years back, when it was built, you probably understand that space, the memory, the computer memory, was an expensive asset, right? It was very crucial for Java developers to really manage the memory wisely. They cannot just deal with or create a program that will use a lot of memory. They shouldn't do it because it was an expensive affair. So, which is why they created these sub data types, and each and every data types will have a specific size that they can store. For example, this guy here, byte. Byte can store a number between -128 to 127. It cannot store beyond that. So it's all about the size. That's the reason why there are 4 data types just for the integers. Okay. Now, exact similar situation with double. Then we have a character, and then we have Boolean. So character means you can store 1 character at a time. Okay. These were all primitive data type, which was used or which was introduced at the very early stage of Java. And then we got non-primitive data types. And these primitive, non-primitive data types are built on primitive data type. For example, this guy string is a special data type that is using character in the background to store multiple character as a one word or multiple words. That's the beauty of string as a non-primitive data type, right? Then you see you have an integer. The integer is integer. It is not int. It is not int. it is INTEGER, then you have Boolean, which is not Boolean. You see, there are differences, and you need to understand these differences. When to use what? I know at times when you get started with programming, things do feel complicated, and I'm not denying that fact. But then we have to get started with things step by step, and we will have to, take care of things one at a time so that you don't really feel overloaded. I will talk about these non-primitive data types when I really understand, or when I really show you what is a class. Okay, that's where it makes sense. Class is just not there to write a main method, the one I showed you. No, whatever we have covered so far, it is just like 0.5%. Java or any programming language for that matter, it has a lot to learn. So you have to be patient and take things one at a time. All right. So then that's that. Okay. So, okay. The next part is operators. And I think operators, I will be starting tomorrow. Okay. So we have to cover a few slides here. Operators, we will be talking tomorrow. We'll talk about arithmetic operators and few different stuff here, logical operators. We'll talk about arrays. We will talk about loops, okay? And then finally, var_args. So tomorrow, when we come at 7 p.m. Irish time, we will just cover up these things, and then we'll go to the day 2 class, where we will install Selenium, which is the test automation framework or library. And then we will run some simple test cases into it. Okay, let me quickly check out something. Let me quickly check how many of you have joined this. I see only 15. I see there are 30 people here, guys. Please join this Slack and subscribe to the YouTube channel that I've given you. Otherwise, you will not be able to see these videos. I will upload the video right now after like a couple of hours, and then you should be able to follow it. So could you please give me a confirmation how many of you have subscribed to this channel? I think only few of them. Guys, can you please do that? Let me just yeah.
What is the link for the YouTube channel?
Yeah, I'm just
I
pasting
copy these
again.
links. You want me to copy these links?
I did. I just sent it to you there in the chat box.
Wait, is there a way to copy inside the chat? I was trying to just copy the links and paste
Can
them.
you just click on it? It should be enough.
It's a bunch of them. So, probably after the class, I did the subscribe to the Slack, but then the LinkedIn, I wanted to copy the links. And then it doesn't let you.
No, if you click on that link, is it not happening?
Yeah, it'll go there. But, I was trying to watch the class, and I know you wanted to do some of this. So I was trying to do both. But
let me actually put this link there in the
email. Can you email those? Maybe?
No, in the Slack channel then. Okay, I did that here. Okay, in Slack channel. So if you have got it, then just go and click on this. Okay, and join the Slack, please. We will come back tomorrow at same time. I would like to hear from you guys. How do you like the first day class? Is it too hard to understand? Am I going too fast? I would like to understand if I need to make any changes in my delivery or.
I liked it, Sovik. I'll probably watch over this video and it'll help as well. So did you say that one is going up on Slack or YouTube?
It will go in YouTube. I will anyway paste that link in the Slack also. All right.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah,
Perfect.
brilliant. No, thanks. Really, really good. Thank you very much.
Thank you. No problem at all. All right. Guys, other Bilal and I see Aisha, Andy. What do you guys think?
Yeah, all good, Zivik. All good. Yeah, all good.
All right. Okay. What
It's
about?
very helpful.
Thank you. Thank you so
Very
much.
helpful.
so good.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you.
Perfect.
Thanks are great. You know.
Awesome.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
All right, guys. I'll see you guys
See
tomorrow,
you.
same time.
See
All
you
right?
tomorrow.
See you.
Perfect.
See you.
See you.
Everyone tomorrow. Take care.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.